Getting results with calisthenics doesn't happen by accident. To make fast progress, correct technique, loading, and patient progression isn't just recommended, it's the only way. In today's Fitness FAQs video, we're going to be covering the most common weighted calisthenics mistakes and how to correct them. When it comes to weighted chin-ups, a subtle way people cheat is kicking for assistance. On the surface, this doesn't look too bad. I mean, look, the legs are only moving a little bit at the top. With that said though, the last half of the weighted chin-up is a range of motion which is arguably the hardest and tends to be the sticking point for most people. What you're doing by kicking at the top of the range is you're actually robbing yourself of the opportunity to get stronger in the position of weakness, in the position of most benefit. If this is happening with your weighted pulling work, it means that the weight is too much for you and you need to use momentum to complete each rep. You're not actually using muscular effort to get you through that point. Moving on, we have other errors that tend to happen as well at the top of the chin-up. If you're decreasing your range of motion at the expense of adding weight, once again, you've got to drop the weight so you can at least get that chin well clear of the bar. When the weight gets too heavy, people tend to lurch away and then towards the bar. Once again, this means you're probably going too heavy. Drop the weight down about 10% and use a more strict vertical technique. If you've added more weight than you can handle, there's a ton of compensations that can happen. One of those is keeping the shoulders shrugged up towards the ears. As most of you would know, this isn't a strong position for the shoulders and the arms to work, so we really don't want to be strengthening this suboptimal movement pattern for our vertical pulling work, our chin-ups and our pull-ups. Besides, it looks pretty ugly, doesn't it? I'd like to share with you a few key points that I personally use when I'm doing weighted calisthenics. Number one would have to be use a full range of motion and be in control of the chin-up. Every rep I'm doing my best to get the chest to the bar. At a minimum, I'm well and truly clearing the chin above the bar. Just as importantly, you'll notice that my tempo is quite strict. I'm pausing at both the bottom and the top. When adding pauses, you're not going to be able to use as much weight or do as many reps, but the results will be just as good as going super heavy. Using a bit of a lighter weight with pauses and eliminating that stretch reflex has an advantage of sparing the elbows and the shoulder joints. If you paid close attention to my form, you'd realize that I'm using a vertical pulling technique. I personally believe this is optimal for back development for general training purposes. When it comes to doing heavy weighted dips, the most common situation you see is a really flexed position, a flexed posture. The upper back's rounding and you've got this ugly gooseneck forward head action. This flexed posture is usually combined with another form mistake, which is having the shoulders shrugged up towards the ears. This shrug technique with dips isn't stable and it's not safe, especially when we're going really heavy with our dips. How many people have you seen go crazy heavy with dips too fast, too soon, and then they're out of action because they've torn a pec, they've irritated their shoulder? Yeah, it doesn't sound like beast mode, but we're all about the long-term game. Long-term game is key, trying to minimize injury by using proper technique and a weight that you can use and serves you well. The last form mistake for dips is the lower body position. I'm personally not a fan of crossing the legs behind the body because it creates a disconnected torso and it's generally combined with some hamstring cramps to keep your legs in that position, and having the legs behind the body promotes that worm-like technique where you start getting that spinal arch and that spinal wave during the dip. This set of dips I'm showing you here is a combination of errors. You've got the hunched upper back, shrugged up shoulders, inconsistency with range of motion, and a disconnected leg setup with the legs behind the body. Alright, here we go. With our weighted dips, I want you to be honest and choose the heaviest weight which challenges you. When doing your dips, use a proud posture. Aim to reach that 90 degrees on the way down and be in absolute control, not control, domination of each rep. There's really no prize for lifting too much too soon. Be patient because training is like a marathon, especially when it comes to safe and progressive weighted calisthenics. Weighted muscle-ups and kipping is similar to doing weighted pull-ups with using a band for assistance. It's just straight up redundant. Poor form with added weight is also massive ego training, and it's generally presented with short range of motion muscle-ups or the dreaded kip, and that's a scary word in our calisthenics culture. Before you even consider adding weight, no momentum, strict muscle-ups are an absolute essential foundation. Skipping the fundamentals is a recipe for disaster. Trust me, I've done it myself, and I see many other people make the same mistake every single day. When you see weighted calisthenics done well, I can guarantee you the person that you're seeing has dedicated themselves to the exercise, they've used strict form, and they've progressed slowly over time. Now, when you're doing weighted calisthenics, I want you to pay attention to me when I say this. Choose a weight which is challenging, but one which you can tolerate with strict form. I want you to stay focused, and I don't want you to be distracted by other people who may be stronger or lifting heavier weights than you. By following my advice, you're going to consistently make gains, you're going to decrease your chance of injury, but most importantly, you're going to enjoy the process of training because you'll be more regularly making gains. I want you to think of added weight for calisthenics as a tool for general strength. It's not the be-all end-all number, and it shouldn't dictate you as a person. It just helps you serve a greater objective of increasing your strength. Thanks for watching. Go to my website fitnessfaqs.com to learn how to build muscle by bodyweight and master calisthenics with our training programs. Drop me a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it and you want to show some love, and I'll see you very soon on Fitness FAQs.